I have here my sacred Himalayan journal. Originally, it was supposed to be this nice, thick, leather-bound journal that my girlfriend had gotten for me. Then she threw it in the dumpster when we got into a fight right before I left. So I got this cheap little wire-bound thing at the airport boutique on the way over. But it served its purpose well. It's actually one of my most sacred possessions. I don't think I've even shared it with anyone before. So aren't you all so privileged tonight? Of the many things that I wrote in this journal on that first trip, from the plane ride over to the plane ride back, was one simple question to myself. Why? Why Nepal? Why did I go there? I could have went anywhere, but for some reason I went there. To climb a mountain? I never even climbed one before, and now I'm going to climb one over 20,000 feet? It was my first time traveling alone to a third world country in the midst of a civil war. I wasn't part of a group or any other tour. I was going alone to meet some Sherpa guy who I'd met online. And after a couple emails in broken English, he agreed to meet me at my hotel. But not before telling me he was going off the grid for 2 months. But won't worry, I'll be there. What if he didn't show? On that long plane ride over, the gentleman sitting next to me, his name was Chris. It was probably Chris's dozenth time going to Nepal. He had worked for a large nonprofit back in the States, educating children in these remote villages. And he knew everything that there was to know about Nepal. He told me all about the rebels. He told me about the culture. He even knew why I was going there. To climb a mountain, he said. I said, yeah, I want to climb a mountain. He said, yeah, I climbed a mountain once too. When I got to the top of it, I looked down and I saw a whole beautiful world beneath me. And I said, yeah, I think I got what he meant, but didn't fully understand it. The last thing Chris had said to me right before we were about to leave the airport, you ready for this? It's going to change your life. And the doors opened to the outside and it hit me. It was the roar of the crowd. They were all yelling and screaming, begging me to let them take my bags to the car for a small tip. 6 guys fighting over 2 bags. There's all these helper guys on the side. I reached into my pocket and I said, oh my God, you got change? Snatched it out of my hand. Gave me this look. Like, yeah, I'm feeding a family for a month on this thing. Yeah, I wasn't getting that 20 back. That's okay, I didn't want it back. On the ride over to the hotel, it was starting to set in. The place looked just like something out of National Geographic. It was all bombed out looking. There was all these military guys there. Babies walking around with no shoes on, unattended. These animals coming in and out of the car. The poverty. I thought I knew what poverty was from seeing it on TV and seeing it in books. But to see it with your own eyes, to smell it, you could feel it. It was not only mesmerizing me, but also terrifying. When we'd finally gotten to the hotel, the Sherpa guy I told was going to be a bit late. So they showed me in my room. This little small cube looked like one step over a prison cell with a window. I sat down on the end of the bed, and that's when it started to come over me. The reality of what I'd gotten myself into. I started to shake and quiver, even shed a few tears. I opened up my journal, and I said, I really need to write down how I feel right now. I'm paralyzed, afraid to move, afraid to unpack. I can't even leave my room. I'm paralyzed over nothing more than poverty. My God, I've never seen such poverty. And that is something that had really set with me. Not only how poor those people were, but also the resiliency to it. And over time, over the next few days as I settled in, I started to learn that the average Nepalese lived on just $20 to $30 a month at that time. And what was surprising was not only how little bit of money that was, but how little it took to change someone's life. I thought about my own life back home, having just graduated college and bartending my way through, living from tip to tip. And I thought, well, what if somebody comes in and gives me like a 1-month salary as a tip? That would be life-changing. I could do that there for $20. So before we left for the mountain, I went to the bank and cashed a couple hundreds. Decided to give them out in little bits and pieces along the way. As I gave each one out, I saw their eyes light up. They'd smile with such genuine gratitude, and I'd snap a picture of them. And it made me feel like I really accomplished something. And then I went and I climbed my mountain. When I got to the top of it, it was the greatest feeling that I'd ever felt, greater than graduating college or getting my first job or anything I ever did back home. And when I looked down from the top, just like Chris, and I saw a whole beautiful world beneath me. Only now I understood what it meant. On the way home, I took out my journal for the last time and asked it that question. Why? Why Nepal? But this time it whispered to me. It's an experience, one that will gently linger with you as you move through life, only to be revealed in little bits and pieces. Over the next 20 years, I would return to Nepal twice more, with next year soon to be my 4th time. And each and every one of those times back, it's never again been about the mountain, but about those people, so happy living with so little. And those little bits and pieces are the black and white portraits that I've taken of them, that I meticulously edit when I get home and spend hours and hours bringing back their faces to life. They show up in my mind and memories and things that I just can't understand. So perhaps the answer to my question, and the reason why I have to keep going back there, is because the reason itself was never anything meant to be discovered at once, but rather something meant to be discovered over time in those little bits and pieces. Thank you.